How's it going? How are you? Good morning. How did you wake up? Everything all right? Well, that's right, guys. Today, Kira, look, she's super impatient. The puppy, yes. She wants to show you how to install, well, that's right, Windows 11, Windows 10, and 8.1 over the network. Let's get started. How's it going, my beautiful people? Well, friends, this tutorial, honestly, the request has been around for quite a while and people keep asking for it. Since we previously made a video about how to install Windows 11, Windows 10 over the network, but obviously using Windows Server, and people were asking me, Victor, is there any way to have this feature basically on a regular Windows, stock Windows? Of course it's possible. And so we're gonna make use of different tools. All the materials that obviously we use in all the Wacron tutorials, remember, if they're not in the video description, please join the Discord group or create a Discord account. And there in the different categories or sections, you'll be able to find all the tools we share here in the video tutorials. And of course, if you have any questions, there's the WhatsApp group and also the comment section, all right? Obviously, to get more personalized and much faster support, as well as help from the whole community, I encourage you to log in right away to the WhatsApp and Discord groups. We are 100% active there. If, on the other hand, you leave a comment on YouTube, I'll reply as they come in, So that's it. Let's get started. I'm going to leave you here a direct link to the Microsoft Learn page where we'll download this tool called Windows ADK. Within ADK, we're going to click where it says download ADK 10.12, which is from September of this same year, right? We click on it. This might change in the future, but the process will always be the same. We're going to click here on Windows ADK. This tool will be downloaded, and you'll also need to download the one that says full, okay? Windows PE add-on for Windows ADK, also from September. You click on it, and that's it. Once you have those two components, you're all set. You're also going to download this little file that I'm also sharing in the Discord group. I'm going to open a category called Windows Network Installation or Windows 11 Network or Windows Network. Just look for it like that in Discord, and there will be this small TXT file, okay? A short text that I'll explain what it's used for in a moment. Then also within the Discord group, you'll be able to find this section here, this little folder called PXE, okay? It's important that you have these components. We're basically gonna put all of this together in one folder, all right? Everything we've downloaded, the repositories, everything, you'll keep it all together in a single folder, which in my case, I created in document. I should mention that, yes, I replaced the files, it's no big deal. And now we basically have everything in one place. As the last tool we'll need for this network installation, you need a Windows 11 ISO. Remember that, of course, you can go directly to the media creation tools page, whether it's for Windows 10, Windows 11, or whichever operating system you want to install over the network. And here you just need to select Windows 11, click download, and then of course choose the language, right? You confirm, and it will automatically provide you with the ISO that we'll need for this installation, right? You just click download and that's it. In my case, I'm going to use the one we have here from the community, which is super optimized and greatly enhanced, called OETM, all right? You can also find that one on Discord, okay? And well, that's where we are. I'll leave that up to you. So Windows 11 or a Windows 10 ISO and the tools we already have as a recap. All right, let's get started with all of this. We're gonna go straight to installing the first add-on. Okay, this one right here, all right. We're going to right click and run it as administrator. Let's say yes. I'm going to minimize the folder. This little window will pop up, and just as it is, don't change a thing, leave it as it is, click next, select no, next, accept. And we're gonna uncheck all these add-ons because honestly, we're not gonna use them. Later on in other video tutorials, I'll show you each one of them and what you can do with these kinds of features. Right now, the one I'm interested in us installing, so to speak, is the deployment tool. That's the essential one, okay? Deployment tools, which basically, well, that's all it takes. And we're gonna click on install. Once the tool finishes, we're gonna click close. And now we're gonna apply the next tool, which is the WinPE one, right? We basically right-click and run it with administrator privileges. A pop-up window will appear. We click yes, minimize it, and just leave it like that. Next. Next. We accept. Just like that. Windows PE pre-installation environment. We install it. Once it finishes, we click close. Once we've done these two pre-installations of these two applications, you won't have to use them again in a way, right? That's done. Now we're going to click on the Windows search bar and type tools, okay? Deployment tools command prompt. There you see it. And you're going to run it with administrator privileges, just like that. We select it, run it, and click yes. And once you're in here in the section for deployment and image creation tools, you're basically going to enter the following command exactly as I leave it for you down below in the video description. You just copy it, paste it with the right click. There you go. Copy and hit enter. Done. That's it. What did I do? Basically, I told it to put all the necessary tools we're going to need into a folder on local disk C in one called WinPE. Let's take a look. Let's go ahead and type exit. That's it. Let's go straight to our file explorer, local disk C, and WinPE. See that? There it is. Now, let's double click. Let's go to the media directory. And inside the media directory, we'll then go to the boot folder. All right. Inside the boot folder, we're going to copy two essential files needed for this tutorial. We need one called BSD, which you can see here. And we also need one called boot SDI. For these two, please right click, select them. Okay. Copy both of them. Perfect. And we're going to move them to that file I'm sharing with you, as I mentioned in the Discord group. There, basically, we're going to double click and go to the file section. All right. Double click. Okay. And in the boot section, okay, inside here, we're going to copy and paste them. All right. Let's right click and paste. That's it. Now we basically go back to the WinPE folder. To keep this clearer, I'm going to split it into two so we don't get lost. I'm going to put this one over here and this one over there. All right. This way we're more in sync. Very well. So we copy these files. What are we going to do now? We're going to the media section as well, right? Or to WinPE. Remember that we're inside the media folder, okay? And we're going to look for the folder called sources. Inside sources, there's also a little file called bootwim, which we're going to need. We're going to copy it and paste it inside the files boot directory of this folder. Let's paste it. There it is. Let's go back and now look for the subdirectory or folder called EFI. Okay. Inside the EFI folder, double click it, go to the boot section, and there we're also going to select basically one or two files, right? Specifically, the one called boot64.fe. I right click it, I'm going to copy it, and we're going to paste it in here. Okay, there we go. Then we hit it in the back. Okay, back. And now let's see. We're also going to add two files, one called bootmgr in the media folder and bootmgr.fe. We're going to select these two. Remember, they're in the root folder of media. Right click, we're going to copy them and paste them directly into this directory. Perfect, very good. We pretty much have all the files ready now, if you notice, right? I think so. In total, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 files that need to be in the boot folder. In files, obviously, in what is PX0. Okay, right there. What are we going to do? We're pretty much going to close the WinPE folder here. We won't need it anymore. And basically, we're just going to do the following. We're also going to minimize this little folder and then right click on the ISO that you already downloaded earlier. Right click and we're going to mount it, okay? Or you could right click if you have WinRAR, a decompressor, 7-zip, whatever you have, just right click and extract it to a folder. In my case, we're mounting it, that's fine. I'm going to right click and I'm basically going to, to copy. And then all of the files that are inside the ISO, I'm going to leave them in this PC, local disk C, and I'm going to create a folder, okay? A little folder called Win11, just like that. You can name it whatever you want, all right? There we press enter, right click and paste.
Very well. Now that everything we need is inside the Win11 folder within the root directory of local disk C, we can safely unmount our drive without any problem.
All right, we just click on eject and that's it. Now we're gonna have to share the folder, okay? The one we have right here inside our Windows 11, we're gonna share it, but with a specific user who will help us share it over the network, okay? So let's create that user. I'm going to minimize this, right click on the start button and go to what is called computer management. Within computer management, I'll go directly to local users and groups, then users. And here I'll right click. I'm going to basically create a new user. In this case, I'm going to name it Omicron Network, okay? Omicron Network. Just like that, we're gonna set a password that isn't too long. Also, don't forget it. We uncheck this, set the password to never expire, and click create. That's it, we close this. Omicron Network has been created. Did you see it? Very well, we close this. Now, inside what is, in this case, the Win11 folder, right click. Let's go to properties, sharing, advanced sharing. Okay, share this folder. And we're going to add permissions. In this case, full control. We add Omicron Network. Okay, check the names. That's it. We accept, apply, accept. We also apply, accept. Security, we do exactly the same. Advanced options. Okay, add Omicron Network. Check the names, accept. Okay. Click here, full control, full. Accept, apply, accept. All right. Now the entire folder is among the privileged with all permissions. We close, that's it. We've now shared the folder with that specific user who will help us as the intermediary to install our Windows over the network, okay? Up to this point, pretty much everything is almost done. What are we going to do next? We close, and I left you another TXT file called main, all right? Main epics. It opened twice, sorry about that. We're going to copy all of these, okay? Copy this exactly, and we're gonna paste it directly into, now we go back here. To which folder, right? From here, the one we had, per server, double click it. In which section, files, and you're going to look for, okay? One that says menu, IPXE. That's why, in fact, I named the TXT file like that. So you can identify it quickly, right click on it, select open with, choose notepad just once, and everything inside there, I click on edit. Okay, select all, edit, and delete. And that's where we're basically gonna paste everything from here, all right? We're gonna copy it, paste it, and that's it. File, save, and that's all you need to do, okay? Follow the instructions exactly from A to Z so that you get, well, basically a good result. All right, that's it. What specs does this device have that's basically acting as a mediator on that server? I'm going to right click, Task Manager. Okay, look here at what is the network section. As you can see, my dear friends, it's a modest machine, just a single core with 4 threads. And there's Akira in the background, all excited, huh? And 4 gigabytes of RAM. You don't need a super powerful machine to do a network installation. All right, very good. Lastly, let's run, okay? Directly the tool that we have here. Double click here, and you're gonna run this one called PXE, okay? Right click on it and run it as administrator. You say yes. Perfect, let's minimize it. You must not close this at any point. Not at all, okay? And for the IP, check this parameter that says DHCP server, that's the important one. Once you run the tool, you're going to click on online. It will ask you if you want, well, the firewall, you can enable more options like I did. Enable this for public and private networks. Click allow. And this is so that obviously other machines on the local network or even remotely can access this computer, which will act as the mediator to perform our Windows installations over the network. Also, as an additional note, I'm going to go to another tab here, head over to the network section, click here, and enable network discovery and file sharing, because that's important too. I'm going to click yes, okay? That's it. So that it focuses entirely on everything related to the network. This also another important point. I'm going to right click here on the network, then go to network and internet settings. And this part, okay? It should say connected, and here it should be set as either public or private, all right? But preferably for now, it should be set to public because we're going to use it across the devices. It could be set to private if you're only gonna use it on your own local network, all right? But obviously that will really depend on how you want to implement it. This is just a little extra bonus, all right? Okay, I'm gonna close this and move to another computer to do pretty much the same thing there. All right, I'm going to the other machine. This method, friends, works for both legacy BIOS and UEFI BIOS. Obviously, for EFI, you need to make a small adjustment. I'll explain it to you when we actually perform the action. Here, for example, I have this BIOS, which is dual. We have what would be BIOS or EFI properties like legacy, right? It's an old BIOS, but I'll also show you how the modification would look on a modern BIOS. Here, you basically need to make sure in both cases that in the network check or status section, it has to be enabled so you can allow PXE interconnections on both IPv4 and IPv6. Once you've made sure of that, then in the section for priority number 1, okay? You can set it to boot from any of your network cards, all right? As option 1, and for boot startup, also in the section over here where it says save and save changes, you can obviously select it so that it boots from that parameter, all right? Or if not, I'll just press Control Delete here, and I'll press my F12 key, which is 4 gigabyte. On MSI, it's F11. On ASUS, it obviously depends as well. Fate, F11 too, okay? And you're gonna select the drive where you obviously want it to connect and of course, extract the ISO, right? All right, let's go ahead and press enter there. Once we have this, if you notice, we already have the terminal. That's what I wanted us to get. It loads for us basically, and as I said, this is for an add-on, API for BIOS add-on legacy. Very good. Now let's enter what comes next. IP config, so you can see that the range is the same. Did you see where I'm connecting to? Go ahead, so there are no issues. It's the same network nomenclature, the same everything. So now let's assign a letter to the Wine11 folder, okay? We're going to assign the share folder called Wine11, and we're going to give it the letter C or whichever letter you prefer. Net use space, the letter Z, colon, space, backslash. And we're going to type the IP there, which would be 192.1680. The one we basically have where on our other machine, the one that gives us the option, 54 of HCP server. That's what we're going to put. In my case, it's 167. All right, ready? Very good. Now, again, let's repeat. backslash at 92. Okay, and what comes next? I don't know, we press enter. It's asking us for the username that's linked to, well, basically to that folder. I'm gonna say that it's linked to the user we created, which is outro in red, in my case. Enter. It's gonna ask for the password. Enter, and perfect. Once we are inside, from there, see the points. At 92, and now yes, HPoint XE, enter, and that's it. Guys, now we have everything ready to install our Windows in all its glory across the entire network. Here we select basically our language, the country we're in, and then we click next to install. Now, I can minimize this window, and here we can basically do all the work. We can choose whichever version you want, Pro, Enterprise, and from here, we just do the typical installation as we always do. And so, my friends, this is basically how we can do any installation over the network. So that obviously, it can load for you as an add-on, EFI. Remember, for it to load as an add-on, EFI. This part is important. I think I forgot to tell you where the boot file is. It has to say with the PXE /x8664, and you select it from here in the section where the files from the folder are, in File, and here you're going to look for this add-on, all right? And for Legacy BIOS, it's just like it was at the beginning. For BIOS Legacy, it's basically going to be exactly as PXE. This is for Legacy or BIOS or MBR partition type, and that's how it is for BIOS FI or UEFI. All right? Without further ado, I'm your friend Victor Sanchez. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and give it a like. In this case, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to share it because obviously this tutorial could really help someone out. We say goodbye until next time. Bye-bye. The Earth is God's land.